as we come towards the end of another transfer window, we are back to discuss Oxlade-Chamberlain, Danny Drinkwater, Arsene Wenger's meltdown, what's going on at Chelsea. It is another episode of Not Another Football Podcast with your host, Burnham and Butcher. I am Burnham, and as always, I am joined by Butcher. Good afternoon, sir. How are we doing?
Afternoon. The sheer excitement of the transfer window is driving me up the fucking wall.
Is it excitement, though, or is it just going to be like it is every single year?
It's edgy as seat shit, in it.
No, but is it though? Do you know what I mean? Or is it just the people of Sky Sports, etc., are just very?
I don't know. It's journalists, social media just fucking. It does blow it all out of proportion. But we all want to sit there as football fans, and we all want to. We want to get excited about certain fucking situations. Is this going to happen? Is that not going to happen?
Let's kick off then. When did Jonny Evans turn into Paolo Maldini?
Oh, Jonny Evans. Jonny Evans lost shit, isn't he?
All of a sudden, he's turned into fucking best defender in the world, and everybody wants him. Where's he going to go? Because I think he's going to go because it's going to come to that point. I believe it's going to be some final transfer window bullshit of 10 minutes to go, and Jonny Evans finally seals a £35 million deal to somewhere. Do you know, he's going somewhere, but I don't. The money quoted at the minute, the knockback, because it's 25 million. I think latest teams are getting knocked back at.
We're at 25 fucking million. Yeah, but they can. Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. If the new fucking
wanting Jonny Evans,
but if the new transfer fee for a fucking defender is 50 million, West Brom have got fucking every right to fucking demand what they want for him. If they hold it,
not got the right to demand it. I'm saying, when has Jonny Evans been fucking any good?
But that's it. And that's just I've been shitting myself the last 2 days. I've been shitting myself because I've been watching the transfer window and I've been waiting for fucking Mamadou Sakho to go, right? And then I look at it yesterday and we get Mamadou Sakho, fucking West Brom, make an offer to Liverpool, rejected, right? Or interest. And then Crystal Palace made an offer, had it rejected, right? Liverpool want 30 million quid for him. I'm sitting there thinking, fucking hell, if we sell fucking Mamadou Sakho, please don't tell me he's going to try and go get Jonny Evans.
Well,
please don't fucking tell me
Evans,
that.
For some reason, all of a sudden,
he's doing something right, though, isn't he? He's doing something right.
He is doing a cracking job at West Brom, but for me, your Man Cities of the world and your Liverpools of the world, who've got a lot more money than your West Broms of the world, they should be looking for a higher quality defender than a Jonny Evans.
I think the thing is, dude, one thing that ticks the box with Jonny Evans, not only is he going to give you experience at an age, but he's going to give you that homegrown tick.
Of course. But
and then that's the thing,
what's more important, having a world-class central defensive partnership or having an homegrown player? But
he's nearly 29.
You what? Sorry.
Nearly 29 years old.
Yeah, but he's not world-class.
No, he's not. And they're going to be paying like 30 million quid for him. What?
It's ridiculous. Another one who is not world-class, but for some reason everybody wants him, and he's turned down Chelsea because he wants to go to Liverpool, and this afternoon Liverpool's open talks with him. Oxlade-Chamberlain.
I'm all for it.
No, I'm not at all. I think he's fucking terrible. I think he's like a poor man's Theo Walcott. And Walcott's
better than Theo Walcott.
Walcott's never developed. No, I think they're both as bad as each other. I don't think either of them should be anywhere near
the issue I've got, right, and it is a big issue with me.
He's obviously turned down Chelsea because he wants to play central midfield. That's his dream.
He ain't getting central midfield in us, man. He's going to be a rotation player.
He'll be a winger.
Right?
He'll be a winger, what he should be. He's not a full-back. He's not a wing-back. He's not centre-mid. He should be a winger. He's got pace. He should be exactly what Theo Walcott should have been. But Walcott
he ain't fucking playing on our wing. Like I said, he's going to have to get used to rotation then and sitting on a bench. Because he's not getting in ahead of Mane. He's not getting in ahead of Salah.
But do you play him, if you play him 4-3-3, do you play him on the right-hand side of the mid three?
Possibly, but then you've got to drop either Chan or Lallana. And for me, Chan's a hit and miss with me all the time. He's a hit and miss because I class Chan as Mr. Inconsistent. He'll have 3 fucking blinders and then his head will fucking go and he won't do shit all. And the thing with Chan is at the minute is you've got that elusive contract fucking where he's out of contract next year and he hasn't signed a new one. For me, he's not going to sign a new contract now because of obviously another guy we're going to talk about. But personally, I would take Chamberlain. The reason I take Chamberlain is because he ticks that box of being homegrown. He has got ability. I personally put it down to the fact that Arsenal have failed Chamberlain. Not only have they failed Chamberlain, but I believe they failed Walcott. I believe they failed Wilshere. I believe the list is endless of players that they failed. I believe their training methods are questionable because you shouldn't be lads like that. Look at the injury problems the likes of Chamberlain, Wilshere, and Walcott have had. They're young kids. Yeah. They shouldn't be having fucking injuries like that. So your training methods of your coaches or your manager's training methods are fucking questionable, and everything is questionable when it comes to fucking Arsene Wenger, in my opinion.
No, definitely, 100%. Well, while we're on here, I know we were going to leave that a bit late, but while we're there with Wenger, it's time to go because it's got to be on it. I know he signed. I know he signed a new contract in the summer, but for the last 3 years now, all Arsene Wenger's tried to do is to appease the fans by buying one big money player. He's done it. He tried doing it with Ozil. He tried saying fans were on his back. Well, look at me, I'm going to buy an Ozil. It's all right.
I believe when Arsene Wenger came into football, he came in at the right time.
Oh, his
and he was picking up the youngest, fucking most supreme talents in the world. But the problem is, football has evolved that much, and Arsene Wenger's been left fucking back at the back. He's the turtle. He's the tortoise. Well, all the rabbits have fucking gone forward.
Look, you know what I mean? Arsene Wenger still goes out and spends 600 grand on some young African, 800 grand on some young Ivory Coast player, because he still believes that he can do and he can replicate what he did back in the early 90s. But it doesn't work like that. All the best young talent are already snapped up somewhere.
There's no way in a million years. Let's be honest, right? There's no way in a million years. So someone like, I remember when Arsenal signed him 6 years ago, Chamberlain, and they had this thing, didn't they, Arsenal, about signing young kids from Southampton, fucking ideally, because that's where they got Walcott from. But fucking Chamberlain should be going for big fucking money now.
Nobody should. No, exactly.
To me, even at 30 million quid, I think that's too much based on
his ability.
He's achieved nothing.
Yeah, he's done nothing. He's scored 2 goals in 20 odd appearances.
But I don't think that's down to him. I think, you know what? As a Liverpool fan, I would say we've been linked with this kid Lamar, right? 70 million quid coming from Monaco. Monaco's academy has been supreme the last couple of years. But to me, I would rather save 30 million quid or 35 million quid, right? And spend 35 million on Chamberlain and, maybe get something good than waste 75 million and the lad be a Martial in his fucking first season.
Like, if you look at the Monaco team that won the league last season, like 50% of them were teenagers, near enough. And young players. And don't get me wrong, like, look at Mbappe. It looks like he's going to go on loan to PSG with a view of £160 million deal next season, which is ridiculous. For a kid that's had 1 year. And that's how I feel with Thomas Lamar as well. Don't get me wrong, he looks like a good player. But £77 million he's getting touted around for a kid that's
I agree with you.
No,
I do agree with you.
I'm sorry.
I just think sometimes you kind of...
Look at Dembele at Barcelona. They've obviously tried to replace Neymar. Coutinho rejected... Well, Liverpool rejected them, Coutinho, so they've gone out there. And don't get me wrong, another one, he's like Lamar, he's like Mbappe. Dembele looks like a very, very good player, but he's had 1 good year at Dortmund. I don't understand how you can... And don't get me wrong, right? We've spoken about this numerous times. Money in football is fucking ridiculous at the minute.
Yeah,
it's just the amount of money that's been pumped in through TV and merchandise and ticket revenue and all sorts of other money, sponsorship deals. The money doesn't have... I firmly believe it's one big pot and they all just keep dipping in and putting it back in and taking it back out.
Me personally, it took him 70 odd million quid out of that lad, and I just think...
Is he worth 70 million fucking quid? No.
What?
Is he Ekin? Is he fucking Ekin? Right?
No, I want to believe he is, because if we do fucking sign him, that's 70 odd million quid. You want something to come out smelling of fucking roses.
And what happens if it don't? Then it's 70
I look at it and I think
wasted.
It's League One, right? It's League One. It's a shitty league.
Well, look at Martial.
But your owners are dirt rich.
Martial,
do you know what I mean?
Martial's come out of this same academy, right? But Martial was famous only to Louis van Gaal. Nobody else kind of knew who fucking Martial were. I'd not heard of him. Because what helped the players this season, the last season, is because Monaco A won the league and B did really well in the Champions League. So a lot of these got a lot of attention.
That's the thing. The price tag's gone up, and they've gone in the shop window, haven't they?
Well, that's a brilliant segue. Your price tag goes up when you appear in the Champions League. Danny fucking Drinkwater. Danny Drinkwater's now handed in a transfer request this afternoon as we're recording this. We're recording this on the Wednesday. He's handed a transfer request, and again, he's another one being touted around for your Chelseas of the world. I'm sorry. The Chelseas of the world, you sell Nemanja Matic and you want to replace him with Danny fucking Drinkwater. Danny Drinkwater's a bang average Premier League player.
Yeah. No, I don't want to sound disrespectful towards Leicester, right? When they won the Premier League, but in my opinion, that's why I don't want to sound disrespectful because you won the Premier League. That's something Liverpool have been fucking dreaming of, right? Fair enough, fair dues. But every single one of them players, whether it be Jamie fucking Vardy, who I watched fucking play for fucking Fleetwood Town, who I will tell you is shit. He's shit, right? Mahrez, shit.
I don't know.
No, he is. He's shit, dude. He's shit. He came from a second fucking division fucking team in fucking France.
No, he's not bad as Mahrez.
I don't rate him at all. I never have done. I go through that fucking team and rip it to fucking pieces. Kasper Schmeichel lives off his father's name. Nowhere near. He's not in the top 7 goalkeepers in the Premier League, in my opinion. Not in the top 7.
I don't rate Schmeichel. I don't rate. Look at the centre halves. Wes Morgan. Wes Morgan made his name at Nottingham Forest.
He's shit.
Yeah. Robo.
Christian Fuchs, crap.
Oh, they're all rubbish. But
they
fluked it because your Man City's, your Man United, your Liverpool's and your Chelsea's and your Arsenal's were all shite. It's simple as. N'Golo Kante, he did boss. Any game that he played, he did boss in midfield. And that's why he went to Chelsea.
That's what makes me chuckle, dude. That's what makes me chuckle. You know, look at the price tag he went to Chelsea for last season. 22 fucking million.
Compare that to some of the prices.
22 fucking million.
A year later.
You've just gone and signed Timion Bakayoko, man, for 40-odd million, and he ain't fit to lace that kid's boots.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's why it's... Again, it comes back to what I was saying about the inflated prices. I just think it's just ridiculous how bang average players like Danny Drinkwater, it's like it's the pool and the talent are all dried up all of a sudden, and there don't seem to be any central midfielders out there that play in this Makelele Kante role, because that's what every club's desperate to have these days. Is a Matic, is a Kante, is a Pirlo, someone that sits back and dictates the play and breaks it up.
They're gone. They don't exist anymore.
That's it. There isn't any, but everyone's desperate for them. So anyone that... Well, look at Yaya Toure. He was another one that when he left Barcelona for Manchester City, Man City saw him as this ideal person to sit and play that sort of Makelele role, but allow himself still to go forward and attack and that. And it's just people are desperate. The centre midfielder role is dead. You're a defensive one, or you're an attacking one, or you're one that floats around and breaks up play, and they're desperate.
There's no such thing as a DMC anymore.
There isn't.
No such thing. No such thing.
Everyone just floats around and breaks up play. Right, but moving on then. So let's speak about what about? It looks like, is it Sergei Arroyo? Looks like he's been moving to Tottenham for quite a bit of money as well.
He's the kid that got stopped from fucking travelling with Paris Saint-Germain last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
To England because he fucking twatted a copper or something.
But 23 million.
Good player. He's a good player. He's all right.
In the grand scheme of things, it's because Tottenham's not really made their move yet in the transfer window. I don't know if they're not going to.
No, we're not. This is what I mean.
I don't know if they're going to, or because obviously there's only a day or so left. But is this their big money move? Has Daniel Levy finally fucking saying, look?
I honestly believe that Tottenham have ruined themselves for the next few years in terms of moving stadium.
No, of course. They're going to do what Arsenal had to do. Was if you look at Arsenal going from the Invincibles to when they opened the stadium like 4 years later, and then look at the quality of player they had to bring in from the stadium. They were signing the Rizikis of the world.
But I would say they're in a good position with the talent and team and youth that they've got
that
to
is one thing with Tottenham.
withstand
Tottenham are in a solid position where they have got a lot of young talent. Granted, they've lost Kyle Walker, but they've got Kyle Walker-Peters, and he seems to be doing a decent enough job.
Yeah.
So they've probably saved a lot of money with shirts as well. Just have to add Peters to enter it.
Yeah.
Saved a fortune. Saved a fortune on shirts. All them shirts they thought they were going to have to lose. But is Tottenham, going on to what we're saying about Chelsea's and your Liverpool's and your Arsenal's brandishing your 30, 40, 50 millions around, 60, 70 millions around.
I don't think so.
23 million, is that the sort of money that Tottenham should be spending, or do you know what I mean? For me,
no, because I think it's unfair to say that someone should be able to spend this amount of money and someone else shouldn't. Because I think if you want something, you're going to go out and buy it, aren't you? My issue is exactly, I think Tottenham, the way their team has changed in the last 3 years in terms of players getting better, players wanting bigger contracts. Tottenham must be playing a shit ton of money out in wages. Danny Levy's hands are basically, they're not tied, but he's got to be careful in the way that obviously financial fair play and stuff like that. I wouldn't say they're in danger of anything like that because they've not spent anything. But I think Levy's a fucking, if there was one guy that I would like at my club in terms of, being a director or something like that, it'd be Daniel Levy, because the guy is a
well, he enjoys
I like him.
Selling and spending fucking
I like him.
He's a fan. He's a
to
mover
me,
and shaker in Levy. If you look at like all the players that have come and gone since Levy's been in charge of Tottenham, Tottenham have not had the same side. Well, to be fair, Pochettino has come in and added a bit of stability into the club because he's working with a lot of the youngsters, and like what he did with Danny Rose, he's done wonders with players like Danny Rose. But I don't know. For me, Tottenham, I think Tottenham, they went backwards the minute they sold Bale. Probably they went backwards the minute they sold Modric. And since then,
I don't. You see, I think they.
If you let's be real. If they would have kept hold of Bale and Modric and players like that, Tottenham would have been.
But would they be the team they are now? This is me and you are completely disagreeing here. Because I don't. You see, I don't, because I believe that Modric slowed the game down. I believe Bale was a very, very selfish player in terms of what Tottenham had.
Yeah, but it's a completely different world, though, isn't it now? That's the thing.
Dembele's a machine.
Yeah, but they're different players.
Eriksen,
they didn't have these players back then. If add Gareth Bale to what they've got now, add Modric to what they've got now. Like, Dembele's all right, but Modric.
I don't think Modric should get in a team.
Oh, he would. Well,
I don't believe he'd get in a team.
Wouldn't, he's getting on.
He's miles behind Dele Alli.
Because he's getting on.
He's not as good as Dembele.
No, I'd play him with Dele Alli. I'd have Modric be holding back and sitting back and let Dele do all the graft. And then have people play. I'd have him as a central figure and have people playing off him.
But where would Eriksen play?
I'd have Eriksen playing off him. So if you have like a 2-3-1 formation to an extent, and have Modric with somebody else as your two, and then your three would be Eriksen, Ali, and Ale there, and then Kane up front, Kane up top.
See, because he plays them three at the back. And then he plays Kieran Trippier, who's fucking amazing.
He does the 3-5-2, doesn't he? He does what we do it.
He plays with wing backs, doesn't he?
Yeah, we do it at Sheffield United. It's 3-5-2 on attack, 5-3-2 on defence.
I just think them two are struggling. I don't think they've gone backwards, but I believe the next 2-3 years are going to be this season is going to test Tottenham to the limit.
So let's move on then to one that. Probably for me, one of the fucking most weirdest things of the whole transfer window of Liverpool breaking the transfer record for next year.
We've paid his release clause, which activates in the summer, which is 48 million with a premium, which is not being revealed. We basically activated his release clause, and then what they have said is, and I can understand why they've done it, they didn't want to lose their best player, did they?
Spent 48 million quid then on somebody.
I don't see that. I don't see that as a problem because we'd have spent it next season.
No, but why not bring him in now?
We can't. That's the dictation of the deal. That's the dictation of the deal. They want him. Well, they wanted over 100 million quid for him. If we wanted him now,
you sell Coutinho, you get him now, don't you?
But I still don't, because we've got three midfielders. This is the thing.
So
I don't see our middle line being bad.
And what happens to it next season then? I think it's a
It's Chan. Chan is the make-weight. This is what I'm saying. Emre Can is out of contract next season, right? He's not making any movements on signing any deal.
To be fair, I don't think he's Liverpool class anyway, me, Emre Can.
I blow out on calling him, like I've said. But to me, I would liked him this season. But to me, I still think it's shrewd business because all we've done is pay what we would have paid last summer in terms of his release clause being activated. And we've saved ourselves the best part of freaking nearly 40 million quid, right? So we'll have to plod on with what we've got now. If we can get someone else in, obviously, we've got 2 players for the price of what we would have played for freaking Keita. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the way I look at it. I think it's shrewd business. Just plod on, and that's it.
I do get what you're saying. I don't agree with you. I get what you're saying.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. But it is what it is.
Sort of money
I mean, the lad's statistics are fucking phenomenal.
Oh, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
And this is the thing. We brought up N'Golo Kante, right? I would go as far as saying he is the closest to Kante, if not better.
Let's see how it
remains to be seen, and we'll see it next season.
That's it.
But it
I think we need to see to you now. The football gods will dictate that a week before he's due to sign, he breaks his leg and he's out for 17 months with cruciate ligament.
Oh, fucking say that.
That's what happened. Look what happened to Van der Stroy and Manu years ago. They were just about to sign him, and they smashed him sending training. So let's one final one then before Alex Sanchez, probably the big now the Coutinho saga seems to have died. The next one that's been, it was always there, it was always been floating all summer, but it's picked up a bit of pace with the silly reports that they were going to offer Raheem Sterling or potentially even offer Sergio Aguero. Yeah, because of course you do. Of course you do. You give him one of your best strikers. Because that's the most sensiblest option, isn't it? Sky Sports fucking news. But it does look like they seem to be rejecting transfer fees. Here's another one that I feel is going to go to the wire, and we're going to get late on tomorrow evening. Sanchez finally agrees some stupid move. I can see this one going into the 60, 70 millions. Some silly move, and probably Man City. But can you see him going anywhere else?
Oh, I was hoping you were going to ask me that. I hope, right? And I got a big issue with Sanchez. I don't like him. I think
he's a lazy player.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Did you watch much of Sanchez when he was at Udinese? Did you watch much of Sanchez when he was at Udinese?
I seen a bit of him, and for me, that fucking a lazy league suited him.
Well, no, of course, Italian league is as lazy as
possible.
And
it suited
him. For Udinese, he was playing as a central striker.
Yeah.
So he had 2 or 3 players that was constantly feeding him stuff, and he's very, very fast as it is, as we all know. So if they're feeding him the correct balls at the correct weight and speed, etc., he can make himself look brilliant. Yeah. And he did, and he was all that fussy. Is he going to go to Juventus? Is he going to go to Barcelona? He finally goes to Barcelona, and he's dwarfed in a team that still had Iniesta's in his prime, and your Xavi's in his prime, and your Messi's were coming through, and your David Villa's, and he was dwarfed by a David Villa who was 10, 15 years younger than him, or whatever. No, probably not 15, 10 years younger than him, and he didn't look the player, and he's come to Arsenal. And he's another one, like a lot of them do. They come to Arsenal and they make themselves again look very, very good players. Because Arsenal for the last 10 years has been a weak side. Arsenal for me are at Everton. That's their level. They're not a Man U. They're not a Man City. They're not a Chelsea. They're like a Liverpool. Liverpool and Arsenal and Everton. For me, and Tottenham. That's your level. And then your level above is your Man U, your Man City, and your Chelsea. But Arsenal, players like Sanchez, he's now again being touted as one of the best attackers in the world again. It's like, don't get me wrong.
He ain't fucking one of the best attackers. I want to know where the fucking hell people get off.
Because his record.
On the fact that his record, I don't see his record as being fantastic.
His record
I really don't get it.
Bad. Yeah. But
I don't get it.
Go back now, people forget. A lot of people forget the record. This happens to a lot of players.
He did well in his first season. He did well in his first season. But, Gary Neville said it right. And I'll hear a load of Liverpool fans fucking shouting now and fucking screaming, Gary Neville can go fuck himself. Gary Neville is a fucking intelligent fucking man. Right? May not like him as a footballer. I detested him as a footballer. I wanted to fucking cut his head off and put it in a fucking glass fucking mount on my wall. You know what I mean? But as a pundit, He talks sense. Whether he criticises his own fucking boyhood club of fucking United or he criticises any other club in the league, he says it how it is. And now he said something about fucking Alex Sanchez, and he basically said it how I fucking think it is. Why would you want to sign a player that you can categorically and you can predict it? In 2 to 3 years' time, he's going to do exactly what he's done to fucking Arsenal. He is a Tevez. They all come in the same fucking bracket, these South American footballers. They're greedy-ass bastards that only look at money and retirement funds.
Oh, definitely.
They're not in the English Premier League because they love our game of football and because it's the greatest fucking league in the world and because we as fucking British people give the world football. They're here because we got fucking numpties owners that want to spend shit tons of money, that want to pay these prima donnas a fucking load of wedge. Because all that, like Wenger or not, all that guy did was come out and want to believe in you as a fucking footballer, and you've shafted him.
Well, they gave him a chance again to be a main player.
Yeah.
His career was going absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
6 months. 6 months this guy's been engineering this.
Oh, no. Oh, definitely. But
6 months.
He's definitely going, I'd say. I think, but it's just a matter of how much. I think that's the thing. It's how much at Liverpool, how much are Arsenal willing to hold out for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's great. And are they going to come to a point where do they look at it now and think, well, we can just carry on without him this season, or do they need to kind of make a decision now so they can potentially get somebody else in?
Yeah. We'll remain and see.
Right, so let's park the bus there then on transfers, and we'll see, won't we? It's, we're recording this on, as I said, Wednesday afternoon, so there is only 24, 30 odd hours left or whatever it is of the transfer window. So we shall see if any of these movers and shakers do go for all. But Butcher, do you want to let everyone know where they can find us as always on?
You can get us at NAF Podcast.
So what we will do is we will check back in a couple of days' time, I think, and we will see where everybody went or if anybody did go anywhere. But until next time, guys, thank you for listening.